Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? Give me a big thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me know. Give me that visual. Let me know if you can hear me. I always love seeing that visual. Hopefully, everyone had a fantastic, wonderful, amazing holiday. Okay. Um, did we eat too much? Let me know. Give me. But what do we have any food icons that we could use? Do we have food emojis? Uh, use food emojis if you ate too much. If you had a good holiday, hopefully, and also those of you who are watching on recording, hopefully you had a wonderful, fantastic holiday as well. I missed everyone here, so of course, my gift to all of you. Okay. So we do have a turkey emoji. I love it. My gift to all of you coming back from the break is we're going to be doing math today. We're going to be doing math. So for those of you who haven't been in any of my math webinars, I listen to what I'm going to tell you. I do a little bit of housekeeping at the beginning, a little more so than some of my other webinars that I do, because what I tell you is this: I want to make sure that we set the proper expectations. We make sure that you understand what is expected, what's going to be going on as far as what we're going to be doing today, and how to get the most out of this, and how much you should be studying with math, because math is a subject where it's going to be that a lot of people, get to a point where they get really stressed out about it. They get really anxious. And it's a situation where, bottom line is this. It's something that people put a lot of effort into it. So that's why I always like putting a couple of minutes of housekeeping in there. So what I will tell you is this: there's just a reminder: no math in California. Hey, no math in California. In New York, I think that what was I going to say? I think that a good portion of the New York exam, I think that the last I checked, I spoke to a student this morning. I think there's 2 math questions in New York, so not really a big emphasis there. Every other state is about 8 to 10 questions maybe. Okay. So the thing is, the goal is to not be perfect with this. If you're going through the math, so here's what we do. We take it really nice and slow with our math sessions. Okay. We do not go super fast. So here's the thing: if you got through the question, you're getting through it really fast. Hey, fantastic, wonderful, amazing. I'm going to be really going through it methodically and showing you the method behind what I'm doing. How are we getting to the answer? Okay. What I will tell you is this: be patient with me. If it's something that you're doing it really quick, fantastic, amazing, but try to do it. Okay. Try to do this. Okay. Try to look at the methodology, how I'm getting to the answer, because that's going to help you. Okay, that's going to help you on any math question. So even if you're getting it really well, now also too, what I'm going to tell you is this: if I'm going through a question, hey, you're not getting it, you need to take a step away, you need to go into maybe another topic. Okay, that's totally cool. You wouldn't hurt my feelings, okay? Because I know that this is a tough subject. So if it's just not clicking for you, it's a-okay. Take a break, come back to it at a different time, or, this might be something that, it might just not be, the subject that you're going to really get the most out of. It's not going to be where your low-hanging fruit is, So that's basically the situation there as far as that's concerned. And I have a couple people telling me, hey, I know someone asked earlier, said, Fernando, who I know is someone who has been in my webinars a couple times, said, "How can I pass my exam? I failed it 3 times and been studying nonstop." So let me just say this, and this will be my last question before I get into the math. Is going to be this. I do suggest, if you've been studying nonstop, probably not study as much. My sweet spot is about an hour to an hour and a half, okay, a day. That would be my recommendation. So, that being said, I would say, maybe study a little less. That would be the situation there. So, that being said, let's jump into it. We're going to be doing today, and I know a couple of people have been asking for recommendation for some things in the math, okay? What I will tell you is this. If you go back through my webinars, just so you know, if you go back through my webinars, you'll find a lot of different math resources. So if you just type in math, all the way at the beginning of the year, I think we did a cram course. Okay, here we go. Crash course. That's about an hour and 45-minute video. Fantastic resource. And also, okay, there's a lot of other ones. So if you're looking for depreciation, you could type in depreciation and you'll see the webinar on that. If you're looking for the amortization table, there's going to be one on that as well. So that's the situation there. So again, if I don't go over all of the math that you're worried about, go back through some of my other webinars. So that being said, let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at our first question, okay? And this is a good old seller net problem. So let's take a look at this, okay? The question says, a seller wants to net $45,000 from the sale of his home. He has to pay off a $70,000 mortgage and a 6% commission to the broker would be due. What does the home have to sell for in order to accomplish this? Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, let's talk about this. So, what is the first thing that we do? So for those of you who have been in any of my math webinars before, watch them on recording, what is the first thing that we do? And also, please hit the like button on the video. Don't forget to do that for me because that really helps us out. So please remember to hit that like button. So what is the first thing that we always do? Yeah, California doesn't have any math. That is correct. That is correct. So this wouldn't be on your California exam. Yeah, Lindsay gave it to me. Perfect. Beautiful. Right? What the question is asking us, right? So, and here's the thing. Again, we're really talking about the methodology behind this. Like, what is the question asking us, right? So, and there's a reason for this. So, what does the home have to sell for? Okay? Okay, that's the first thing we do. Next, we write down what we know, okay? And I like doing this so we know that he wants to net $45,000 is what the seller wants to net, okay? Seller net, okay? Then we know that he has a $70,000 mortgage to pay off, right? Okay, he has $70,000 on the mortgage, okay? On the mortgage to pay off. And then there's a 6% commission, okay, to be included. Now, couple different things that we could do here. So first and foremost, what I'm going to tell you is this. I'm going to tell you a couple different things, and I want you to understand this statement, okay? First and foremost, there's several different ways you could tackle this question. You could actually go to the answers and do it that way, okay? You could do that. But I'm going to show you the right way. Well, no, not the right way. I'm going to show you the way to do it that, from looking at the question, okay? And basically moving forward from there. Now, listen to what I'm going to tell you. If you get the right answer when you go through when you use the answers, and you're like, Stu, I did it that way, or you do it some way different than how I do it, that's A-okay, that's fine. I don't mind, okay? So that is the situation there. I do not mind if you find it a different way. Okay. So why do I write it out like this? Because some people always ask me this question, like, why is the reason that I emphasize this? So I'm going to tell you the methodology behind this and why I do this. Because number one, what happens is this. Now, I don't think that the question that I wrote is a particularly wordy question. Okay. But in the math, what I will tell you is this. Sometimes you do have a particularly wordy question where what happens is they might put some of those like wonky words in, like Bobby buyer, Sally seller, okay? Stuff like that. And sometimes what happens is if you constantly have to go back and reread the question to get and extract the numbers out of it, sometimes what happens is that confuses you more than anything else. So, that being said, what I do is I basically kind of rewrite the question where I put exactly what you need up there, what the question's asking you for, and all the information that you know. So, for those of you who like how I'm showing you this method, give me a thumbs up in the chat. And also remember, if you are watching on recording or live, please hit that like button too, okay, as you're giving me a thumbs up. Because the methodology, again, I'm showing you this so that you have this tool. And here's the thing, do this on the easy math questions too, regardless of the difficulty level, because I just want you getting used to doing this. I do this on every single one, okay? I do this on every single one. So now, what is our first step? In solving for this problem, what is going to be our first step? What do you think our first step would be? Okay. What do you think that first step's going to be? So, I see a couple people here telling me that we need to add, we need to add 45,000 to the mortgage amount, okay? So, to the mortgage amount, 70,000, okay? And that's going to give us, okay, so someone asked if you're going to be able to do this on the test. Yeah, your test should give you scrap paper, okay? Should give you scrap paper, okay? They should do that. So someone asked me, why do we add those two together? So here's the reason why. We add those two together because the seller wants to make 45,000. Right? So the home has to sell for minimally 45,000 plus it has to sell for another 70,000 on top of that, right? So those are the two numbers. We know that we have to walk away with 45,000 plus a 70,000 because we have to have that to pay off the mortgage, right? So we know that. We know that that's minimally what we have to have. So watch this. If we add those two together, you punch them into your calculator, okay? And let me also say this. Please, 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 because of the crazy Butterfingers, okay? Because of the crazy Butterfingers, I will tell you this. Please type it into your calculator multiple times, okay? Type it into your calculator multiple times, okay? Because the situation is going to be this. You are probably potentially going to slip up and put in the wrong number. Okay? That being said, we now have $115,000. So we know, just based on this, you have to sell the home for minimally $115,000. This is the tricky part now. And I need to, because a lot of you are saying something, and I'm going to tell you this, it's a big no-no. A lot of you want to multiply 115,000, okay, 115,000 by 6%, okay? A lot of you want to do that, okay? Nay, nay, my good friends, nay, nay. That is not what we're going to do, because let me ask this question, okay? How do we calculate a real estate sales commission? How do we calculate a commission? Okay? How do we calculate a commission? Okay? How do we calculate it? Okay? Well, it's the sale price times the commission percentage, okay, equals the commission amount. Right? So let me ask you this question. Do we know the sale price? Do we know the sale price? Yay? Nay? Maybe? Okay. Do we know the sale price? I don't think we know the sale price because that's the answer, right? Because here's the thing. We wrote it out here. What does the home have to sell for? Okay. So a lot of you are saying it. A lot of you are saying it in the chat. I want to kind of write it out there. You ready? So what we have here is this. Listen to what I'm going to tell you that we have. And I'm going to explain it to you verbally, and then I'm going to explain it to you numerically. So you need to follow along with me on this one. Okay? First, the $115,000. That is the sale price less the commission. Right? That's the sale price minus the commission. So, if I had to represent that numerically, I would say 115,000 equals 94% of the sale price. Right? 94% of the sale price. Okay? Because think about it. If the sale price is the total, okay, then what happens is 94% of the sale price, because it's the total less 6%, is 115,000. I think my math is correct there. So I hope that you see that as I wrote it out the two different ways. I kind of showed you where multiplying by 6% on the 115,000 is not the way that's going to get you to the promised land. So now, here's a couple ways that you could do this now, and I'm going to show you both. Both are correct, okay? You could multiply 6% by each of the answers and then subtract it from it and see which one equals 115,000. That is a correct way to do it. You will find and verify the true answer. Okay, that is one way to do it. And if you feel comfortable with that, you feel that your brain is leading you in that direction, not a problem at all. Okay, not a problem at all. Okay, now, if it's a situation where you understand the 94%, you could also multiply 94% by each of the answers and see which one would give you 115,000. Not an issue. I totally 1,000% think that you will also get a true answer once you figure out which one would equal 115,000. Or what you could do is this. Because if we were talking about this algebraically, and I'm just going to take you back to some basic algebra from, I think this was middle school for most of you, if you had middle school or intermediate school, whatever the case may be. This is like 8th grade math. Watch. So 94% of the sale price could be written as 94% of X because we don't know it, okay? So to solve for the sale price, to solve for X, what we would do is this. It would be, I'm going to write it out, and then I'm going to make it nice and big for you so that you can see it, because I know the numbers are getting tiny, okay? We would divide it by 0.94, which is 94%, okay? So let me put that in there, and I'm going to make it bigger, okay? Again, so punch this into your calculator so that you have this, okay? And that should give you the answer, and which is what, okay? Which is 115,000 divided by 0.94. Boom. 122,340. Okay? So, what I want to do is this. I want to ask everyone in the chat who's live with me, do you have any questions, concerns, burning desires? Maria said, just wanted to stop by to say thank you to the Prep Agent team, Cynthia, Joe, and Stu. Passed my test thanks to your team. Thank you so very, very much. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, if you stop by one of Joe's webinars, hashtag give Stu a raise. So, what I will say is this: are there any questions on this? Because, as I said, what I did through this whole thing was I wrote down the steps that you take. Right? I showed you how I come to the answer. Right? I showed you a couple of the pitfalls that you might have where people kind of trip up in the seller net problems. Okay. And I told you a bunch of different ways that you could come to it, where you could tackle it from getting it from the answers, where you could tackle it from starting with the answers. You could do that too. Like there's a bunch of ways you could do it. I just wanted to show you how you come across this, how you would get to the answer. So please give me a thumbs up in the chat if you feel comfortable with this. If you're like, man, that quick, that was all good. But of course, and again, if you have questions, feel free to let me know. Also, if you are having any audio or video issues, blah, I can't even talk today. What I'm going to ask you is this: please hit that refresh button on your screen, because that's probably a you problem, not a Stu problem. Also, check your video settings, okay? Make sure your video settings are correct, because that could be probably the situation there. Because screen looks beautiful, crystal clear. Mwah! Chef's kiss, okay, on my end, okay? So, fantastic. It looks like we have no real big questions, concerns, burning desires. Thank you for that, okay? Someone said change your settings to 720p. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes that helps with the live streams and the good old buffering, okay? So someone asked about the 94%. So that's usually a common question. Let me just kind of reiterate that one more time and tell you how it is. Because what happens is the 115,000 is after we take out the commission of 6%, okay? After we take out the commission of 6%. Because here's the thing. You have to identify what that 115,000 is, okay? That is the sale price less the commission, right? So what it is this. It's another way to explain it. So I'm explaining it to you verbally, that it is 6% less than a number, right? Or another way to say 6% less than, okay, is it's 94%. So think about it. It's like basically when you go to the store and they're telling you it's 20% off, okay? It's 20% off. If you're trying to figure out how much you have to pay, there are two ways that you could do it, right? So I'm actually going to write that down here now so that it kind of helps you understand why I'm using 94%. So you go to the store, right? Because a lot of you went to Black Friday sales, 20% off your favorite pair of headphones, okay? Okay. So what happens is this. You would take whatever the regular price is, okay, and you would multiply it by 20%. And then that would give you what the 20% is. That would be the discount. Then what you would do is you would take your regular price and subtract the discount. Okay? And you would find how much it costs. Follow me on this, because I'm getting somewhere. It comes full circle. Okay? Or what you could do is take the regular price, okay, and multiply it by 80%. And that would give you what it costs, right? So what I'm saying when I say, the 94%, going back 20, a couple seconds ago, it's the same as doing this. That number that we had, that 115,000, is after we take out the 6%, right? So it's the same as saying, it's 80%, the regular price times 80% is the cost. It's the same thing. Basically, we have what we're missing on this is the regular price. So you would have on this one, let's say it was like $50. Okay. That's basically what you have here. You have a situation where you don't know what the regular price was, but you know that 80% of it was that. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a little different way to explain it, and I hope that just... Listen, I know that that's not going to ring true to everybody. There's some people who might be still confused by this. Hopefully, though, in the several different ways that I explained it, this helps you out. And what I'm going to do is this. We're going to move on. We're going to go to the next one. But hopefully that helps some people out. So, let's look at this one. Rebecca said, I got you now. Yeah, and that's why I like to explain it a couple different ways, because I think that helps some people out. And that's why I always tell people, please to hang with me with the math, because I do not like to go nice and slow. And I do math webinars every other week. So there's plenty of Stu math, okay? There's plenty. So what I'm going to tell you is this. Please, the situation is this. If you are asking, someone asked about the amortization table. I have a lot of different webinars where I go over the amortization table. So that's the situation there. I have a ton of different ones. That math crash course, all that kind of stuff is going to be really good for the amortization table. And every couple months I do the math, the amortization table again. Okay, so definitely there is math that is going to be amortization focused. So it's going to be in there. Okay, so here we go. Scott sold a home for $590,000. If the total commission to his brokerage was 2.5%. And Scott received 43% of the total commission, how much did he make off the sale? Okay, now this might be somewhat of a straightforward question to all of you, okay, because the commission ones, how much we make, is something that a lot of you usually know how to do pretty easily. So bear with me, though, because, again, I told you, methodology, super important, especially on these simple questions, okay, to go ahead and get in the habit of doing what we are supposed to do as far as the math is concerned, because this is going to help us. This is going to help us, and it is going to be a situation where it's going to help us in the more difficult math questions. So what do we always do first, okay? Want to know how much did Scott make, okay? How much money did Scott make off the sale, okay? So how much money did Scott make off the sale? Okay. So what else do we know? We know the sale price of the home. Boom. Okay. Sale price of the home. Okay. We also know, okay, 2.5% was the total commission to brokerage. Okay. Then we also know, okay, what else do we know? We know that Scott makes 43% of total commission is what Scott makes. Okay? So now, in theory, with us writing all that out, we do not need to go back to, okay? We do not need to go back to the original question. Okay? We should have everything that we need written out right here that will help us get to the answer, right? So we shouldn't have to reread that wordy, crazy question ever again. We should be able to push it off to the side and be able to say, okay, I got everything I need to know. We labeled everything, and we put what the question is asking us. So how would we go about this? So a lot of you are smarty pants. You're already going through the math. So let's go through it. Let's hit this out of the park. So first thing that we're going to do is 590,000. Okay, we're going to multiply it by the total commission on the brokerage, which is 0.025. Okay, listen, that is where people usually get tripped up. Okay, people usually get tripped up because they don't put the right decimals in. Get comfortable with what the percentages are, okay? Get used to what the percentages are, because I think that that's super important for you to understand and for you to be able to make sure you're putting the right stuff in. Because here's the thing, you could do the math all beautifully, all well and good, but if you put 0.25 in, You're going to be at Pooh's Creek. You're not going to be where you need to be. So simple little things. Make sure that you understand how to convert those percentages into the appropriate decimal. Okay. There's never too simple a task. And that is one of them that I always tell my students be conscious of. Okay. So that's going to give us the gross total commission, right? That's going to give us a gross total commission. So 590,000. Okay, times 0.025. And of course, listen, you always punch it in multiple times because of the Butterfingers. Always do that. Always do that. So that's going to be the total commission to the broker. Okay, always make sure we're punching it in multiple times. Okay. Let me get away. There we are. Here we go. So we have now 14,750 is the total commission to the broker. Now, what are we going to do with that number to figure out how much Scott makes? Okay. Okay. So. Okay. So what happens is this, okay? So yeah, if you need to find the percentage, you need to move it over 2 decimal places for that, but you need to move it over 2 decimal places. So watch. Let me show you. If you're moving decimals, I'm not a big fan of moving decimals, okay? But I'm going to show you. No, that's too tiny. Okay? Let me show you. I'm going to draw out the moving the decimal thing so that you see it, because a couple people are saying it. So I want to show you 2.5. Okay, you move the decimal over 1, it would be 0.25, and then another, and you need to put a 0 in there. Okay, so it'll be 0.025 if you're moving decimals over. Again, I don't recommend moving decimals because that gets you into troubles. Okay. If you just know, it's easier to just know what the percentages are. Like that 2.5% is 0.025. 0.25 is 25%. Okay, big difference there. Okay, listen, I would like a 25% commission. I am not getting a 25% commission. Scott's not getting a 25% commission. So now, here's what we need to do. We need to take the 14,750 and we need to multiply it by what Scott's going to be taking home, and his take home is 43% of that, okay? So, 0.43 times 14,750, boom, 6,342, and if we want to put the change on there, 50 cents. And what I'm going to do is zoom in now, as I usually do. So if you want to pause this and you want to see the question, you can do that. But I'm going to zoom in on my work so that you can see it. Okay. And I'm going to erasey my beautiful drawing over here. Okay. So does anyone have any questions for me on that? That was a pretty simple one. Simple as a dimple. But sometimes the simple ones, this is where you're going to hit a home run in trying to get the methodology down, okay? Because these are simple questions. Don't just start punching them into your calculator. I don't want to see you do that, okay? Write everything down. Take a deep breath. Take a look at this. Also, save all your math for the end. That's the other thing that I always tell my students. Save all the math for the end. End of test. So give me a nice big thumbs up in the chat if this is something that you understand, you get it. It's like, you're like, wow, you opened up my eyes. It's perfect. I see how do you use the methodology, which is, again, really simple. And something I want you to note about how I do this, okay? For those of you who sat in my math questions, okay? So Manny said, can you just put 2.5% in the percent sign in? I don't like that because most people screw that up. I think the average person gets that all mixed up, okay? I don't like that. Just know the decimals. It's easier there, It's easier there. So that's the situation when it comes to that. I always say just know the decimals, okay? And something else that I want to show you is this, and this might go against what you've seen, what you've heard, all that kind of stuff. If you notice, I steer away from, in a lot of my teaching, I steer away from using formulas. So a lot of you, okay, A lot of you get to a point where you're trying to use the T-bar and all of these different methods. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of breaking it down and kind of just knowing where to go. Because here's why. The formulas, people try to memorize these formulas and then they don't know when to use them. Okay, so that's like me. I have a bunch of tools in my garage that I am forbidden from using. I have basically two left thumbs. My father-in-law came over to my house one day and he saw that I bought like all these power saws and everything, and he goes, "No, no, 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 no." He said, you're not allowed to use those without me here." So my wife actually forbid me from using any of the tools that I bought. So I have an entire garage worth of tools that I do not use until my father-in-law, my Greek father-in-law, the thickest, heaviest, like literally off the boat Greek. So that's the situation with formulas. If you don't know how to use them, they aren't helpful to you. They're kind of like the tools in my garage. Basically, you have to wait for someone to come in and help you with it. So they're not helping you at all. So that's the situation there. That's the purpose of my story there. So let's do one more. And I think the next one I have planned is going to be fairly simple because we just did one like this. Okay. So it should be pretty easy. Okay. Actually, no, this one is what we'll do. We'll do another seller net. Okay. Because we just did a seller net. So all we have to do is basically try to figure this one out. So let's take a look. A homeowner would like to net $40,000 from their home sale. Okay. There is currently a home equity loan on the property in the amount of $33,000. If the homeowner negotiated a 3.5% commission to his real estate broker, how much must the home sell for? So, trying to figure out how much the home needs to sell for. Now, we should also make sure we're putting down all the other stuff, right? $40,000 seller net. Okay. $33,000 home equity loan to be paid off. Okay. And then a 3.5%, let me get that in there, percent commission to the broker. Okay. Perfect. Hey, now I'm going to let you folks drive the car. Okay. Let's take a look and see what is the first step that we're going to do. Okay. What is the first step that we're going to do? Can we bring our own calculator for the exam? Yeah, most places allow you to, and if they don't, they're going to give you a calculator of their choosing. Don't bring anything scientific graphing. Basically, if it costs more than $10 at CVS, it is a wrong calculator that you should be bringing. Bring a dual-powered calculator that is simple as a dimple. Okay. Why do I say dual powered? Because every single testing center has a different lighting situation, and sometimes the solar power works like a charm, sometimes it doesn't. So let's take a look at this question, how we're going to tackle it. So a lot of you are saying, "Hey Stu, we're going to take the 40,000 like we did in the last one, and we're going to add it together to the 33,000. Okay. And now all of you smarty pants are saying to me, "Hey Stu, we know what that next step is." And you know what the next step is because, and I'm just going to go right into it. Okay. I'm just going to go right into it. Okay. And here's what it is. Okay. Someone said when they see equity, I think that's what they earned on the property. Well, here's the thing. We didn't say equity. We said equity loan. Okay, we said equity loan. So now, okay, what is that 70,000 representative of? Okay, well, that's representative of 96.5% of the total sales. So what we're going to do, just like that first question, is divide by 96.5%. Okay. And hey now, boys and girls, let's take a look and see what we got. 73,000, okay, divided by 0.965. Boom. 75,647. Hey, since we went so slow with the first question, we explained it all out, and we went a lot faster on the second one. How do people feel? How confident do you feel right now with those seller net problems? Okay. Because we went nice and slow. Do you see why we go slow now? So, hey, give me a big smiley face if you're like, yeah, that was super easy now. Now that we did one, we kind of went through the nuts and bolts of like what we do and what we don't do, right? That's the situation. So give me a big smiley face in the chat if you feel good now. Feel nice and confident. Okay. So seller net problem should be really coming up great for you. And also what I need you to do is this. Remember to hit that like button if you're watching on recording. If you're watching live, please, please, please. That helps us out. Also, what I'm going to tell you is this. Okay. What I'm going to tell you is, okay. Please also make sure that you're hitting that like button on any of the other videos too, any of my past ones, and also on any of Joe and Cynthia's. So where did the 96.5% come from? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to inform you, let you know. That is the 100% minus 3.5%. Because think about this, and I'm going to explain it just one more time. What happens is this. And if you want the more thorough explanation on my first question that I did with everybody, that's where I went into that, really the nooks and crannies of that. I went into like 10 minutes of that. So what I would recommend on this exact video, roll it back to the very first question, because that would explain pretty thoroughly why we did the 96.5%. But that's just basically 100% less the 3.5%. And I also go into, on the first question of this video, I go into the things, different ways you could go about doing that. So if you're watching with me live and you're wondering what that is, as I said, I went through a really nice, thorough explanation there. So for everyone, what I want to say is this. Have a fantastic, amazing rest of your day. What I want to tell you is tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, that is Facebook Friday. That's where we go through your questions, your concerns, your burning desires, okay? And what we're going to do is this. Basically, if you haven't enjoyed a Facebook Friday with me, what I do is I take questions from the Facebook group. What I would do is this. I also take questions from the chat. I do that normally, but I do that even more so on Facebook Friday. So if you don't have Facebook, not a problem. What I would recommend is, hey, send me a message. Take a look at a whole bunch of different things that we have going on as far as ways to contact me. Tag me in something, because I always jump into the Facebook group, see if there's any tag, see if there's any questions. Reach out any which way you can. And of course, jump in live, because I take questions right from the chat. I do that a lot. So tomorrow, I will see everyone again, and I will just say this. Have a great, wonderful, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see everyone real soon.